All right, I believe we have Mr. Larry Sinclair finally on the line. This is a stunning book that you have written about your relationship with the long-legged Mac Daddy Obama. Tell us about your book, Larry. Just introduce it, and then we're going to get into some other details.
Well, the book basically was written, as you well know, after I tried to inform the voting public about the truth about Barack Obama, that he wasn't this clean-cut community organizing, oh, I care for my fellow man type person that his campaign tried to present him as. Like I had said over and over last year, the issues that came to mind to me was when he was, pushing off his drug use that he wrote about.
Right.
That everybody says, oh, well, he wrote about it. No, he didn't. What he wrote about was he claimed that he used certain drugs through high school, and then he stopped. And then when the press started digging a little further, he started changing his story and saying, okay, well, I did drugs up into my Columbia days or my Harvard days,
right,
but I haven't done anything since. Every time the story just kept changing to fit his political ambitions. The young people thought it was cool that he says, oh, I used to be a pothead.
Right.
Or that, whenever we could afford it. But he didn't tell the truth. He didn't tell the truth about the fact that he was buying and selling and using drugs in Chicago, as recently to me that I know for a fact as 1999 while he was in the Illinois State Senate. This was at a time when the guy was 37, 38 years old, and people need to know the guy for what he truly is.
Larry, can I ask you a question? I was with you at the press conference you held in June of last year at the National Press Club, and I was really honored to be there. I came with my wife and several members of our congregation, and you had a massive, well, it wasn't a real army, but you had a massive support system there with you, and I was encouraged to see that as well. But here, and I appreciate the statements that you made. You were forthright. You didn't try to hide anything about your homosexuality and how long you've been such, or your drug use, or other things that you had been involved in during the course of your career. How did you meet Obama, and what did you think when you first saw him? And what was going on? This is before Obama the candidate, Obama the alleged president. What was going on in your mind and heart when you first saw this fella?
Well, actually, the meeting, like I explained at the press conference and like is very detailed in the book, the meeting was happen chance and introduction by a limo driver that was a mutual friend of his. I think when people read the book, they're going to be surprised at just what type of connections, this limo driver and Tony Rezko and Barack Obama had at the time. I wasn't really that impressed with him. I mean, he was a smooth talker, but he really didn't present himself that well. He was basically, to be honest with you, he reminded me of a young man that I used to know in Miami Beach back in the 1985-86. That was the kindest soul in the world, but he was a hustler.
Yeah.
He knew that he was attractive to people, and he would befriend you, but only because he wanted to hustle you. And that's exactly what I took away with Barack Obama. It was all about a hustle. It was about getting a few drinks and not having to pay for it. It was about getting high and having someone else pay for it.
Hold it. You're saying to me that your first impressions of him was that of a slickster, someone, if he's at a bar, he's trying to hustle for drinks, anything he can hustle people in a bar. Is that what you're saying to me?
That's exactly what I'm saying to you. I mean, that was my initial impression of him. I mean, there was nothing, he was nothing more than another, 100 or so people that I had met in my life prior to him.
Well, let me ask you another question. Who initiated that it go from wherever it went when you first met him in the introduction? Who initiated that it go to some sort of sexual event? Was it understood with the limo driver and Tony Resco's limo driver that's why he was being introduced to you, or what? How did that happen?
Well, no, I mean, I can't tell you what the limo driver felt or did not feel. I did not at any time tell the limo driver I was looking for sex or anything else other than just somebody who knew Chicago who would enjoy socializing. I mean, I've always been openly gay. Back then, it was very obvious to anyone around me, for 5 minutes or so. The limo driver, I think, was very clear on exactly who I was and what I was, because we had used him the night before. We had also used him on a previous night. So, I mean, it wasn't a secret. I had no idea that Barack Obama was going to be a willing participant. It's like I said, when I met the gentleman and we were talking in the bar, and I had mentioned the fact that I could use a line or two to wake up, that was a little fishing expedition.
You need to tell people what that means, because you just went right, you went right past a whole lot of people's heads. They don't know what that means. Tell people what that means.
Well, it was a fishing expedition, and Barack Obama knew exactly what it meant, because he immediately responded, well, are you talking about coke, meaning cocaine?
Right.
Which is, yes, that's exactly what I was talking about. Now, here's the thing that I want people to understand. You're going to have these Obama people who are going to go, oh, well, he doesn't use the correct terminology. Actually, yes, I do. Terminology is regional, just like the sale price of a drug is regional.
No, that's I can verify that from the I understand the streets.
But he knew exactly what I was talking about, and the minute I told him that's exactly what I was referring to, he made it clear that he could get it. He makes a phone call, and within 5 or 10 minutes later, I mean, we're already in the limo with him telling the limo driver where we're going, and he purchases it. Now, fine. People want to argue, well, he didn't really purchase it because I gave him the money. No, technically, he either purchased it or he sold it to me, because he's the one that got paid the money by me, and he's the one that brought the product back to me.
Now, you stated, and that is purchase. I mean, he did purchase them. You may have been the middleman, but the purchase was made by him. Now, you stated as well that you had an encounter with him in the limo, and then I believe at the June press conference you stated that he showed up at a hotel room of yours a day or so later. Am I reading that the right way?
Oh yeah, if you read the book, you'll even find a picture of the hotel that he showed up at.
Okay.
And I know you've read the book, and I'm just teasing you when I say if you read the book. I mean,
well, I want other people to read the book as well.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I mean, and I do too. I want people to read it, because I'm going to tell you what. This book, contrary to what all of the people have attacked and smeared, and you understand, because these are some of the same people that have attacked you over the last year or so, ever since you showed up on Jeff Renz and showed up at the press conference. People will go and say anything. The thing I want people to do is, if you're going to say something about this book, I ask you to read it. And I guarantee you will not want to put it down. I guarantee you're going to come out of reading this book and going, you know what? He's telling the absolute truth.
Larry, I have a source who has revealed to me Obama's bisexual habits. In fact, he's deeply involved in bisexual activity. This person that revealed this information to me, and I'm not at liberty to express who, and unlike you, I was not in control of the information. I did not have sex with Obama. I don't go that way in the first place. I'm not a homosexual, Larry. I didn't do that. But I have absolute life and death confidence in the person who gave me this information. I just don't have full control of it, and I'm at the other person's pretty much desire to how to handle information. But I came out and made a public statement about it, about his relationship and a lot of that bisexual relationship went on for many years there in the Trinity United Church of Christ. Having said that, and I will stake my life on what I'm saying about my knowledge about Obama's bisexual, his desire to have sex with men and with women. I will stake my life on that. So when I heard about you, I definitely gravitated to you. I listened first to see what you had to say, but I want the world to know that there's someone else out there that knows that Obama is certainly a bisexual, if not an outright homosexual.
Pastor Manning, I would be willing to take it a step further and say that there's more than just one other person out there.